Hello, in this video lecture we need to learn the assignment number 4 of compiler, that is a lab assignment number 4. Title is implementation of semantic analysis operations, that is type checking, verification of function parameters, variable declaration, coercion using attributed translation grammar. Now the semantic analysis is the third phase of compiler, which is used to type checking. So the syntax analyzer, that is a parser, if a particular parser got some semantic action, then parser is capable to perform many other things. That is, parser is capable to perform the type checking, parser is capable for variable verification of function parameters, variable declaration and coercion, any other possibility thing that can be done by the parser when that parser got some semantic analysis. So what is the output of parser? Parser gives output as a syntax tree. Okay, so that parser requires a context free grammar. So along with the context free grammar, if that parser got some semantic action, semantic rule, the parser is much more capable to do some other things. Along with the syntax tree development, the parser is capable to doing something more. Okay, so here that context free grammar plus some semantic rule, when we provide, okay, it becomes as a syntax directed definition. So that particular parser, if got syntax directed definition, then parser is much more capable to doing all other things parallelly along with the development of syntax tree. That parser is able to compute the particular expression, that is what we call as evaluation of expression. Parser is much more capable for what? Conversion of infix to postfix expression. Parser is capable for coercion, that is typecasting, variable declaration, type checking, everything that is capable by the these things will be done by the parser if that parser got syntax directed definitions. Okay, so what exactly mean of syntax directed definition? So context free grammar along with some semantic rule. So while we are going to decide the semantic rule, each and every symbol of particular context free grammar attached with some attributed grammar. So some attributed grammar or some information that is attached with a particular context free grammar, then it becomes as a attributed value, or it becomes as a valued attributes. So that valued attribute we are going to use in a generation of semantic rules. Okay, so syntax directed translation provide a simple way to attach some semantic to any such syntax. So syntax directed translation functionally works by adding action to the production in a context free grammar, resulting a syntax directed definition. So here we with the help of example we understand this. So the production, suppose context free grammar expression equals to expression plus term. Now semantic rule is what? Attaching some attribute. So code is an attribute to each and every non-terminal of the particular production. So the code is attached with the left hand side E, code is attached with the E1, code is attached with the T. So that becomes as a node. Okay, so this is what we call as semantic rule. So in join, the production and semantic rule is called as syntax directed definition. Okay, also we may alternatively insert the semantic action inside the grammar, like this way. E gives us E plus T, then curly braces, print plus. Okay, so this is what we call as syntax directed translation. Now whatever the attribute which is associated with a particular grammar symbol, it is classified into two major groups. The first one, that is synthesized attribute, and second one is inherited attributes. So what is meant by synthesized attribute? The attribute whose value is computed, or whose value is defined only in terms of attribute value of its children and itself, then such attribute is called as synthesized attribute. So attribute whose values depends on their children and itself, then such attribute is called as synthesize. But inherited attribute means what? The attribute who is defined in terms of their parent and their sibling and itself, then that attribute is called as inherited attribute, which means the attribute whose value is computed by using their parent, by using their sibling or itself, then that attribute is called as syntax directed, that is inherited attributes. So here with the help of example we understand this is what the particular expression paragraph, that is len L equals to L gives us E of n, E gives us E plus T, E gives us T gives us T star F, and T gives us F gives us E, F gives us digit. So some semantic rule which are associated with this is as this. Okay, so what the semantic rule associated with this? That is the each and every production associated with some semantic rules. So here some semantic rule associated with the production is this. Okay, so this becomes what we call as syntax directed definition. So while in this assignment, in this lab practical, we required such a syntax directed definition, okay, to perform the various operations. Okay, now annotated parse tree, the parse tree that shows, or the node that shows the value of its attribute, the node that shows the value of its attribute is called as annotated parse trees. Okay, so with the help of example we need to understand annotated parse tree. So here this is an example of annotated parse tree. So each and every node that shows the value of attributes. Okay, now let's go to the implementation of this program. So implementation of semantic analysis operation, we are going to perform over here like conversion of infix expression to the postfix expression using lex and yak program on a particular attributed grammar. Okay, now here we are going to use a lex because of lex program is basically used to generate the automatic generation of the tokens which is present in the program. So it returns the tokens. Yak is basically used for what purpose? It consists of these context free grammar, and then we are going to use over there some semantic rules. So on the basis of this we are going to perform the operations. Okay, now here the lex program, first of all we need to write the yak program and then we need to write the lex program. Okay, so that lex program, okay, here we write the lex program first. So while we writing the lex program, we have to follow the three sections. There is a definition section, rule section and auxiliary section. So all manifest, constant, declaration of variable, inclusion of header file, that all are to be written in the definition section. But we are not defining anything over here in the this program, so it left blank, that is which is written inside percentage left curly brace, percentage right curly brace. So inside we are going to declare everything. Okay, now go to the next. Here is some terminology we are going to decide, that is alpha means A to Z or small a to z, that is what the alphabet, or digit is nothing but 0 to 9. So this is what we call as regular definition. Name which is given to the regular expression is called as regular definition. So here we are giving the name of a particular regular expression, that is a to z, that is alpha, and digit 0 to 9, that is what? A digit. Now then we need to write the rule section. So here in the rule section we follow some syntax. In the rule section definitely we need to write some regular expressions, okay, along with their actions. Okay, so here alpha is nothing but any alphabet, that is a to z. If we got any alpha over there, so alpha is in the combination of alpha or digit, that is what we call as alphabet. So it returns simply id, that action it performs. Okay, or digit plus, if number of digits are there 0 to 9 in the combination, anything is there, so what we are going to do, it returns again id, that is what it returns some numbers over there. So here we consider it returns id. So a to I, that is ASCII to integer conversion. YY text means what? The current tokens, whatever the tokens is there. Okay, So that is stored into YYL value and return simply ID. Slash n slash t if there is in the program, then just skip it, that is terminate, nothing operation we have to perform, and if dot will be there, return the first character of the particular token, that is YY text returns 0. Okay, so this is what the lex program, we have to store this lex program into lex.l file. Then we'll need to write another file, that is yak file, which is stored into yak.y file with the extension of y, lex program with the extension of .l. Okay, so in the yak program, definitely again the three sections are there: definition section, then there is an translation rule section, and there is an some auxiliary functions we are going to use over here. So what the definition section contains, it contains some header files of the program. So header files we are written over here. So tokens, what we ID is there, that is what the token. So percentage token, what are the different tokens are there, we have to define over here, that is ID. If there is a numbers, that is also token. Okay, but we are going to use ID in the program. Percentage left, which is basically used to decide the left association of the particular operator. So percentage left plus, so we have to say that plus is a left associative, means if the two plus present in the particular expression, then what happen, the left side plus going to execute first. Okay, then minus after that, star and division. Okay, likewise we are going to execute it. Now unary minus, left associative again. Now rule section we need to write. So in the rule section we have to write some context free grammar along with some semantic action over here. So here we perform some semantic action which is written inside the curly braces. Okay, so what the semantic statement can be expression, a statement can be expression, no semantic action is there. Expression can be expression plus term. Whenever we encounter the plus, then there should be some semantic action will be there. Okay, and we have to capture the plus, and whenever we go to the e plus t, there's some semantic action will be, that is a2. Okay, so e plus t, that is reduced to e, then a2 will perform. Okay, similarly e minus t, so whenever we encounter the minus sign, we have to perform some semantic action, that is a1 function we are going to call. Then whenever we reaches to the e minus t complete, then again a2 function going to perform. Expression may be a simply term, no semantic action will be there. Similarly term equal to term into factors into, that is again a1 function call. Okay, and whenever t into f reduced to t, there is an a2 function going to call. Divide the similarly like this, t derives f, nothing semantic action. Similarly f gives us in bracket of e, so in bracket of e, simply whenever we encounter the e, a2 function going to call. Okay, or it gives us minus f, or it gives us f, e minus in bracket of e minus f, or simply it gives us id. Okay, so this is what the translation rule we have to written over here. Some semantic action we are written over here, okay, to perform the operation. Now in an auxiliary function we have to define what the function a1, function a2, function a3. Okay, so here the function a1, the main program will start, the function a1, function a2, function a3. So the a1 function is basically use whatever the YY text of 0, whatever the current parameter is there, okay, we have to store into stack. So st top, value of top is 0. So in the 0th position we are going to store the current symbol. In a2 function, just display the top by minus sign, just display the stack by minus top, and a3 just display the YY text of 0. Okay, now here the main program will start. Enter infix expression we are going to call YY parse. So this YY parse function is basically used to call the syntax analyzer, then control goes to the YY parse, it executes everything, whatever the token is here, id. Okay, so whatever the expression you are going to enter, on the basis of that expressions, okay, it going to call the particular translation rule. Okay, and then need to call the every functions a1, a2, every function it need to call upon. Then there should be return 0. So once we execute this, we got the output like this way. Suppose here we need to enter the infix expression in bracket of 3 plus 5 star 6 minus 2. What is the output? So definitely it gives us output 3 5 plus 6 2 minus, and then star will be there. Okay, so likewise we, whatever the infix expression is given, it is necessary to convert it into the postfix expression. So the semantic analyzer is basically, that is syntax directed definition we require to perform such a task. Okay, along with the development of the syntax trees. So how we are going to execute the program? We are going to compile the lex file, we are going to compile the yak file, and then we are going to compile C compiler is basically used over here to compile the both files. Okay, and finally we got the output over here. So this is the lab assignment number 4. Okay, thank you for watching.